and today I'm going to be taking you on a tour of Boston with a side of history. Come on!
Here in the land of the free, we the people have the right to be a part of the government. Not only do we get to vote, but we also get to voice our opinions. Here's a protest in the Boston Commons. This is King's Chapel, and while we're here, let's talk a little bit about church. An example of limited government would be the separation of church and state in schools. Teachers are not allowed to impose a religion on students. This is a limitation on government employees, but it guarantees that the freedoms of the students are upheld.
So we're outside of the Massachusetts State House where the legislature meets, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Separation of powers was created to keep a balance in American government, which is vital to guaranteeing the protection of freedom. The executive, legislative, and judicial branches all have their own responsibilities to make sure America stays free. An executive here in Boston is Mayor Marty Walsh. As you can hear in the background, law enforcement is very present in cities, especially big cities like Boston. Not only police, but judges like Catherine Byrne.
Speaking of, let's talk about the Constitution and some checks and balances. Also, look at the beautiful city of Boston.
In the Constitution, under Article 1, Section 7, it states that the Senate and the House must pass a bill back and forth, and once it is finalized, it is sent to the President, and if it is not approved, then it is sent back to the House and the Senate. This is an example of checks and balances because one branch of the government can't just go and make all the laws, they have to consult other branches to guarantee that the freedom of American citizens stays intact.
Here we are at the Boston Harbor. It's beautiful, ain't it? Here in Massachusetts, Mitt Romney worked on passing a law that guaranteed people with pre-existing conditions could get insurance, and actually Obama took it on and created Obamacare. So that's how Obamacare became a thing.
This bill was fought, and the Supreme Court ruled for the Affordable Care Act 6-3. This is an example of judicial review because although the bill was created at both the state level and the national level by executive powers, the Supreme Court had to review the bill and ultimately voted for it. Similar to separation of powers, federalism is the balance between central and state government, guaranteeing that citizens are broadly represented but also specifically represented in their state.
This is our last stop of the day at the Flatbread Pizza Restaurant. If you didn't know, there's a 6.25 tax here in Massachusetts on meals. The Global Food Security Act was passed in 2016 to help poverty and nutrition in foreign countries. See my pizza? Gluten-free, so good! Thank you so much for joining me on this tour. Can't wait to see you guys next time. Maybe New York, who knows? Bye! This one's so fat, I love it. They are not afraid. So we are out here in front of the Minnesota. Dang it. Okay.